All in.
Well, Aaron moving all in on the button.
But Kane with the real hand behind him with a pair of jacks. Now he knows he has Darren behind him, so...
Well, he's definitely calling, Vince. It's just a matter if he's going to raise to try to shut Darren out. But if Darren comes over the top of this call, if he does make it, the jacks won't be any good.
We're giving away $50 to the first 100 people that use bonus code YT76. Go to WPTglobal.com and use bonus code YT76.
Off for Michael. Let me guess, he's not folding. Limps in for 1,000 on the button. Refuses to raise. Now, we do know there are pros who prefer to play small ball and will do things like this, but that's certainly something for the more crafty and more professional players.
Yeah, you normally make these type of button limps when the stacks are much shorter in relation to the blinds. Michael here with the King 10 should really just be raising pre-flop.
5-5-6. Olivier likes the look of it. 2 spades on the board, giving Antonio a flush draw. They both check it over to Michael, though. And Michael fires a modest 2,000. Olivier check raises to 6,500. And Antonio is going to call. Mike gets away and leaves the 2 pros to do battle. And the turn is a 4. Olivier has made a full house. Antonio is now drawing dead, but has added an open-ended straight draw to his flush draw.
And Ali, just like we said, when Antonio calls that check raise on the flop, he creates the possibility that his hand gets there, but he still loses to a better hand.
And Olivier is going to bet 13,500 into the pot of 18,500.
And Antonio's stuck here now with overcards, flush draw, straight draw. He's clearly getting to the river.
Yeah, he started this pot with a little over 65,000, and another decent chunk of it heads into the turn as Antonio thinks he wants a spade or a straight card, and the river is an 8 of clubs. Antonio gets there.
Disaster. Just as we anticipated, Antonio is going to both make his hand and lose his stack once Olivier goes all in here.
Busquet coming up with the right number. And he bets 150,000. Now, he knows that that is significantly more than what Antonio has in front of him. Any reason for that?
Well, he believes that Antonio has got a strong hand to both call a check raise and that big bet on the turn. So he thinks, well, if Antonio's got something that big, he'll probably call a large bet on the river. Why not go for all of them?
Oh, yeah, 5-4.
Antonio even calls his hand.
5-8. Pretty safe. Feels like there might not be backs on Olivier's cards the way Antonio's talking. You can see Esfandiari not pleased with this situation one bit.
Have another full house. Got another boat? Middle-aged wizard? Middle-aged wizard won't even crack him.
I think Olivier's what? He's only what, 31, 32? Is that middle age? Am I middle aged?
Relax, Dunce.
He wants to chuckle a little bit. He can't hold it. I got him. I mean, if you got a boat, you got a boat. Jeez.
And Antonio can get away here. Olivier has check raised 2 players, one of which never folds on the flop, barreled the turn, shoved the river when the 4 straight comes out. I think Antonio, if he really wants to be disciplined here tonight, could lay this down.
Antonio started this pot with 65,000, and Olivier wants all of it. And he's gonna get it.
You're right, I'm so pretty freaking sick.
A $100,000 mistake on the river as Antonio pays off and is felted for the 2nd time.
All right, good luck, guys.
Smarter there, the guy with the degree or the guy who quit immediately?
I don't know.
Yeah, something to think about.
The guy who inherits $2 million.
I'm a college dropout, so I'm biased. Meanwhile, Fedor Holtz, my fellow dropout, about to raise up 9-8 suited.
And they fold around to Ankush, who has a solid queen 10 of spades. Ankush has an economics degree from the University of Georgia back in 2009. And he is known mostly as a heads-up specialist.
Ankush just started with like 700.
7, yeah.
First Alpha 8 appearance.
6 behind.
And he calls this, and the flop is a 10-9-3
pair for both players, but Ankush in the lead with top pair. Checks over to Fedor. Fedor will check behind, so we go to a turn, which brings a queen of diamonds and gives Ankush top 2 pair. Ankush will check again, a little surprised by that one. Fedor, one more check. And an 8 of clubs on the river. We'll put a 4 straight on the board.
Yep, scare card. Any jack can beat you. Ankush, though, looking brave. Gonna bet this nevertheless with 2 pair, 85,000.
That's about 1/3 pot. And Fedor was about to throw in the call.
Yeah.
Something went wrong between his hand reaching for a chip and his hand throwing a chip.
You're about to show, aren't you?
And that's what went wrong.
Yes. He's thinking to himself, why should I pay this guy off? Why don't I aggravate him and not call it? But no, he does it. He calls the hand. He had to see it. He was curious.
So sad.
He smiles in a sad way.
Should have folded because he did that.
Yes, you should have, Fedor, but you're still the chip leader. Gotta give one to Ankush. A player's still battling it out. We don't have a bubble boy or girl yet.
I've never seen you take a chip and not throw it in.
Champ's gonna take home close to 1.6 million tonight.
I mean, I saw you like we're about to snap tables, so I was like,
I got 8 on it.
There's 2 straddles, double straddle. They haven't looked at the cards, blind raises. But it also gives them an option when it comes back to them to re-raise if they want.
As if we weren't playing high enough stakes.
I might not even look this time.
I don't blame you.
He's such a dick.
Now the stakes of this game continue to climb.
Don't ruin this for me. I might look at 1 card.
James Calderaro tries to get unstuck, thus far down the most, stuck over $70,000 in real money. These aren't tournament chips, this is real money that Caldo is stuck.
Call dark, I dare you. That wasn't even hard.
30 what?
Tries to get it back here. Getting mixed up with a mystery hand.
If I had a better hand, I'd lead dark.
They don't even know what I have yet.
Here we go, Jack 10 deuce on the flop.
Bottom pair for Ben Lamb. Not much for Jackie Wang.
Better dark. Better dark. You guys, now they're really friendly.
Over to Caldo. Is he gonna check his cards? It's a good start. King, no way.
Oh my God, how did I bet this hand? I had a monster. Check that mother chicken.
They all check.
6 of clubs on the turn. Jackie will take the lead here. Caldo still
Pay the board. Pay the board, give me the pot.
wants a king or a queen. An ace would be bad. An ace, yeah, that's bad. That's gonna give Ben Lamb top and bottom pair and give Caldo enough that he's gonna have to pay off. So Ben probably gonna bet pretty big here. Yep, 9,000 into 10-6, so nice sizing from our pro, Ben Lamb. Jackie, quick fold. Caldo, immediate call.
Oh my God.
Wow. It's king. Oh my God.
That's a bad. You know what? You play blind, sometimes it stings you. Because if he had looked before the flop, he's going to pop it.
Yep.
And you're going to get Ben Lamb out of there, and he won't be able to suck out on you.
We're giving away $50 to the first 100 people that use bonus code YT76. Go to WPTglobal.com and use bonus code YT76.
That ace jack had been in there. Maybe he's lucky he didn't have the ace jack there, Vince. He might have been out of here.
Okay, Andy's going up to 10,000. Blinds now 30 and 60,000. Actually going right back on Jonathan. And he's got a 10 deuce, quickly folds it.
Action on Jerry. Look at this, Vince.
Incredible.
2 kings, the very same hand that Jonathan had just a moment ago against Hoyt. This is unbelievable. Hoyt's running all these hands, and this time he's got the ace jack. Now, a minute ago he said he'd be all in if he had that hand. And he's doing it here, Vince.
Call.
And he's quickly called by the youngster.
Wow.
And once again, Hoyt looking at a big duke.
Wow.
As the cards lie, the youngster about a 70% favorite to win this hand and eliminate Hoyt Corkins from this tournament.
And Jerry getting a little massage from a stranger in the audience.
Hoyt's dreams of capturing a second WPT title on the ropes right now.
He's got to sweat 5 cards to come. Here's the flop.
Well, it's come 9-8-8. So far, so good for the youngster. Hoyt's going to have to catch an ace to take the lead or 2 running cards to make a straight. Otherwise, he's going to be our 3rd place finisher.
2 cards to come. Here comes the turn. Can Hoyt get lucky?
Deuce.
Nope, 5 of hearts on the turn. Advance, we have a 2-time WPT champion named Barry Greenstein who wrote a book, Ace on the River.
Just come black.
No,
Just
red
come
card.
black.
Red
And
card.
right now, Hoyt Corkins has to catch an ace on the river or he's out in 3rd place.
Can the kid knock him out of this event? Coming down the river.
It's an ace fence. Look, the ace of diamonds pops off on the river to put the dagger in the heart of the 24-year-old. Hoyt Corkins lives on. He doubles his red.
Absolute miracle suck out for Hoyt Corkins. So right now, the action's been folded around to Casey McCarroll, the local. Goes away. Mike the Mouth Matusow.
Find something playable on the button.
Yep, a King Jack.
Of course, almost everything's playable on the button these days.
That is so true. And he is gonna raise.
I'm all in.
And Mike Sexton going all in with the King Queen right behind him.
Natural move here, Vince. He's on the short stack. He's against an aggressive player on the button. King Queen plays very well against the button raising range.
Allen out, and this would be a great opportunity for Mike Sexton if Matusow should call.
Fingers crossed, hoping for that call.
1-3. I call.
And he is going to call. Sexton has got the action he wants.
He's not sure about it until he sees the hand. Then he's going to be a real happy guy.
Let's take a look at his expression.
Oh, how sweet it is.
I said I'm behind. I told you I was behind.
Not by much, though.
What can I do? I have to call.
Yeah, obviously.
I was hoping to have like 9-10.
Important to note here, it's a correct call by Matusow for only 169,000 more.
Not the best shape I could be in here.
All right, Sexton still has to sweat out 5 cards. Here come the first 3. And it's a good one for Mike Sexton. Ace 8-4. So Sexton in a great place to double up.
Board twice, we can chop it.
And here comes the card. Beautiful, deuce of hearts.
One more card to fade here, Vince. I like his chances.
Can he do it? This would be a great double up for Sexton. The Hall of Famer, down to the river. Just horrendous. Mike Sexton getting bounced out of here as a jack turns up on the river.
Well, what can you say, Vince?
Well, I'm sickened by that. Mike the Mouth Matusow has knocked out our buddy Mike Sexton. He'll be our 6th place finisher. What an awful beat. Mike takes home $148,000. A lot of respect from the poker world. Oh, and worse than that, he has to sign a T-shirt now, Tony.
It's a very awkward moment when you've been eliminated from the tournament and you're sitting there signing the T-shirt, but he's such a good sport about it.
He's a bounty, and he's been knocked out. Matusow gets $5,000 in addition.
And I like that they
and the
count
T-shirt.
out the 5K in front of you in a very taunting manner.
Oh, boy, this is a horrible beat there for our buddy Mike Sexton. And right now he's talking to Matt Savage.
Like a terrible way to go there, that jack on the river.
Yeah, it was a tough beat, but that's poker, as they say. And, you know, I was a short stack anyway. Even if I double up, I still got a long way to go. But, you know, I had a little hope there if I'd won that pot. But unfortunately, it didn't go my way.
All right, what are you going to do now? You going to get back in the booth?
I'm not sure yet. I think I'm going to stop at the bar first and then figure out what I'm going to do from there. But I think I'm going to let those guys handle it tonight. And they're doing a good job so far. So I may just take the night off.
I think they said a couple of nice things about you. Good luck to you, man.
We now see somebody who is very aggressive on top of the chip counts. I do feel like he is going to take this chance to go for the win.
This time Simon with the pair of 7s will raise this. Tony Dunn's going to stick around. Here we go with a flop 8-6-3 7s for Simon Lamb here. And Tony Dunn's with an inside straight draw.
Pretty safe board for Simon to bet at, but Tony, it looks like he's got some other plans with that gush shot. I don't mind this raise. I think it's a really great spot because, of course, you know you're not going to get to showdown and win with 4 high, so you might as well take the aggressive route and try to get your opponent to fold right here. But, of course, Simon not falling for it just quite yet.
Jack on the turn. Let's see what Tony does. He's going to check it. Simon with the 7s out in front at this point, also checking. So we're going to go to the river. And it's a miracle card for Tony, hitting a straight here.
And what he did by taking that aggressive route is he got himself a free card on the turn, and now he is no longer bluffing. He is going for value. And it's really tough for Simon because he has the 7 of diamonds in his hand, and that might be enough to make him look Tony up in this hand. He blocks the straights, he blocks some flushes, all of which are the types of hands that Tony would have raised the flop with, are those kinds of draws.
He's going to take more time here with this time chip.
Simon hasn't made any big calls today so far, but this might be the spot that he chooses to make that hero call.
He needs more time. He's on the short stack. You don't want to be giving up chips, but he's going to give up an additional 120. Got curious, and he has to pay that off to Tony Dunst.
Kane Kalas bowled 299 one time, and Darren Elias, a top-notch racquetball player. Terrific.
They do other things other than just play poker, as you can see.
There's more to life than poker.
Yeah. All right, the blinds are up to 125, 250. And now Aaron hoping to get hot here. Ace deuce.
All in.
Well, Aaron moving all in on the button.
But Kane with the real hand behind him with a pair of jacks. Now he knows he has Darren behind him, so...
Well, he's definitely calling, Vince. It's just a matter if he's going to raise to try to shut Darren out. But if Darren comes over the top of this call, if he does make it, the jacks won't be any good.
Kane Kalas.
I call.
Just calling. And Darren will look down at a nothing hand, goes out. So there you go. They're going to flip up the cards. You got your ace deuce up against a pair of jacks. 2 guys from Philly, 2 locals, 2 excellent young players.
Well, as the cards lie, Kane about a 70% favorite to win this pot. So Aaron Overton in trouble here. His tournament life on the line. If he doesn't get some help, he'll be our 4th place finisher.
Here it flops.
An ace right in the door. What a flop for the Ginger Ninja. Aaron Overton flopping aces and deuces. Kane has to catch a jack to win the pot, and that's the case. So Kane's a bowler right now. He's looking at the 7-10 split. Can he get it?
Unreal flop. Here comes the turn. Ooh! Flash king. What the heck? But the first one's going to count, not the king.
The king will be the next burn card. The king will be the burn card. It will not play in the hand.
Recount.
All right, Kane needs to hit the 7-10 split to knock his man out. Can he do it? Needs a jack. Nothing else will help.
2 outer. We've seen it before, but it's very rare. Must hit a jack to knock out Aaron.
How tilted I would have been if that card was a jack?
Yeah. The 7-10 splits are rare too, Vince, but they happen once in a while. Aaron holding his breath. Oh, no! It is a jack! Unbelievable. Aaron getting knocked out by a 2-outer on the river. Well, we were talking about the 7-10 split, Vince. There it was. The great bowler, Kane Kalas, does it right there to eliminate Aaron Overton from this tournament. Wow. Vince, once you spike the ace on the flop, you've got dreams of having $6 million in chips. Just like that, you're hitting the rail.
It's just a miracle card. He has done it. Kane has knocked out his buddy, Aaron Overton. Aaron will take home some big money and a horrible shocker on the river.
We're giving away $50 to the first 100 people that use bonus code YT76. Go to WPTglobal.com and use bonus code YT76.
To that honor in this event thus far. Couple of folds in front of Jason Mercier, who's got Queen 10 suited. Makes it 12,000 to go from the button.
No limping from him on the button.
Nope, Guglietti out of the way. Ace-4 offsuit for Busquet in the big blind, and he'll call for an extra 6,000, take the flop heads up.
Check.
Checking in the dark, flop is Ace-Queen-7, top pair for Olivier, middle pair for Jason.
Yeah, Olivier would have liked to have check-called a bet there, but Jason checks behind with his second pair and now turns trips.
Yeah, he's got the best hand. Second check from Olivier, and with trip queens, Jason Mercier reaches for chips and comes up with 14,000 of them.
When someone like Jason checks that flop, it's usually with showdown value, so Olivier doesn't feel good here with his ace on the turn, but he's not going to fold yet.
Calls to 14,000. Pot up to 60K. River card is a 3. Busquet's playing the 7 kicker on the board. Checks a third time. Mercier's got to come up with a figure he thinks he can get paid off on. 43,000. And you see the look on Olivier's face. It's almost as though he's surprised at the size of the bet. A little bigger than he expected.
I'm guessing he'll fold since he's essentially calling for a chop. He just looks kind of defeated here. Things are going so wrong, and they were going so well up until the last few hands that he played. And he does get away, so another well-played hand by Olivier. He actually minimized his losses there, but it still feels dirt.
Yeah. Of downward trend that he has been faced with over the last few pots he's played, it is Olivier Busquet, a real veteran, a middle-aged wizard, as Antonio likes to say. Folded around to the small blind of Kathy Laney with 10-9 offsuit. She raises to 15,000.
Yeah, we haven't seen her be very aggressive pre-flop, but it seems like she's changed gears since becoming our chip leader and is now becoming a little more wide in the type of hand she'll play pre-flop.
Pocket fives for Jason Mercier, who defends his big blind, and Kathy's outflopped those fives. 9 high is the board. She's got 9s and fires another 15,000.
This is a good flop for both players. Obviously better for Kathy, but Jason likes where he's sitting.
Why a good flop for flop? Why a good flop for 2 5s?
Because he anticipates that she's raising Broadway cards or aces before the flop, and so a 9 high board looks pretty safe to his 5s. And when another 9 comes out, that's actually a very safe card for his hand. He just doesn't know she has trips.
Right, 3 9s on the turn for Kathy. She fired another 15,000, got called once more. Now a jack on the river. And with 94K in the middle, she fires 25,000.
Feels like this chip is going away if I throw it in.
He knows that Kathy leans on the tighter side, but also there's a lot of hands that she can have that have gotten to this river without any showdown value. That includes missed flush draws, missed straight draws, or even just overcards where she decided to run a 3-barrel bluff.
Is she capable of the 3-barrel bluff? That's what Mercier is asking himself right now.
Well, we know she's capable of some creative bluffs. The problem is she hasn't been caught yet at this tournament, so Jason doesn't know.
And she still hasn't been caught. She's got the goods yet again. Busquet, the chip leader with ace-10 offsuit, will 3-pop it to 25,000 total. Snowman for Kathy Laney, and she wastes no time mucking.
Yeah, she had the best hand there, but I think that's a good fold. If she's gonna play that hand, she has to go all in pre-flop, and I think that's aggressive for Olivier's range there. Olivier, meanwhile, showing us the difference between a professional and an amateur. Earlier, we saw Bill Perkins flat call ace-10 in a similar position, and I mentioned a professional would likely 3-bet. That's exactly what Olivier does here.
Yeah, well, Perkins called the extra 15,000. The flop is ace-7-3. Perkins checks it, and Olivier checks top pair behind him on the dry board.
I like that check. It's designed to induce some action or a bluff from Bill Perkins, and he does follow through here.
Mission accomplished. He hits aces and 10s on the turn, and now Bill fires 20,000 with the 2 5s. It's not that Bill thinks 5s are good. He just can't resist the temptation of trying to steal the pot. Olivier not going to raise, however, just going to give Bill some more rope, calling the 20K, and the king of diamonds on the river, Tony.
Yeah, that's not the card that Olivier was hoping to see on the river, but he's still feeling very good about his hand, and he's going to bet for value here, but we know that Bill's not going to waste much time before folding.
Yeah, well, it's more comforting to see Bill check in front of you if you're Olivier after that card. Olivier bets 75,000 into a 100K pot, and Perkins says no thank you, sending his 5s into the muck and sending more chips the chip leader's way.
Yeah.
We'll send 14,000 into the middle. Fold from Jason Mercier, and Tony Guglietti with his king 6 offsuit is going to call from the small blind. Olivier does the same from the big, and Antonio will have position on these two. Heading to a three-way flop, which is 2 6s and a jack. Tony likes it.
Yeah, Tony playing pretty loose here pre-flop, calling that raise with king 6 offsuit, but he flops 2 6s, and I'm hoping he realizes that this time and tries to get more money in the pot.
After a couple of checks, Antonio bets 15,000 and Guglietti raises to 40.
I expect Antonio to fold. He pays a lot of attention at the table, particularly to how people play, but no, Antonio does make the call.
That's interesting.
Surprising.
We just saw Tony take a line like this, check raising with top pair, so you have to think he's got at least that here, in which case your nines are cooked.
Yeah, and you don't beat a jack either, and I don't know what you expect Tony to just totally bluff with here.
Right, that board's so dry. Both players check the turn. The river is a 3. Guglietti's trip 6 is still best.
Tony back to his slow playing ways, but he knows to bet this river.
35,000. You think he checked the turn in the hopes that Antonio would hang himself?
Yeah, he either wanted Antonio to bet for him, or he wanted to make sure he gets another bet on the river.
What do you got, Tony? What do you like to know?
Now, the problem with responding to Antonio's question is he's not really interested in the words, he's interested in the demeanor. And you saw that Tony there looked very relaxed. Sure, what do you want to know? It's confident demeanor, and I think Antonio will probably pick up on it.
35,000 chip decision for Esfandiari. Really struggling, but ends up making the correct decision, laying down the nines. A hand that I think you and I both agree he could have gotten away from on this time with 6-7 suited, but he'll have company. Guglietti calls with ace-deuce offsuit, the kind of hand that perhaps we want to see him get away from pre-flop.
Yeah, we've been talking about Tony playing too many hands pre-flop for a while now, and it looks like Olivier is going to try and take advantage of that fact by putting the squeeze play on and 3-betting king 4 offsuit to 60,000.
So this has nothing to do with his hand here. He is just reading the situation and trying to take this pot down right here and now.
Exactly. He also thinks that if Jason had a strong hand, he'd likely just 3-bet Kathy to begin with. So he's confident that both players who just called probably don't have much.
And just taking his chances against Kathy's holding, and Kathy has defended calling. He'll be up against her, out of position, heads up to the flop, which is 8-8-9. Olivier's king high currently the better hand, but Kathy's got 2 overs and a gut shot straight draw.
It's actually a pretty good flop for Kathy. Now, many professionals would call this flop with the intention to bluff numerous turns and rivers, especially a diamond. I'm curious to see how she'll play it.
154,000 in the middle. Olivier bets 55,000. What will Kathy Laney do? She's gonna make the call. Pot up to 264K. Big one developing here between the pro and amateur. Turn card, a queen of diamonds. Kathy's now got the best hand.
Yeah, that is the worst card in the deck for Olivier's hand. If she had Jack 10, diamonds, or just something like Queen Jack, now she's ahead.
Yeah, given her pre-flop raising range after defending against the 3-bet and having called on the flop, that is an awful card for Olivier. He shuts it down. Kathy checks behind him, and now the board pairs a second time on the river, 8s and 9s. Olivier checking, and Laney content to let the pot stand where it is, checks, and will take down a big one.
I like that she checked behind there. I don't think she can get more value from a worse hand by betting, and on a 2-pair board with 3 to a flush out, if she does bet, she's really over-representing her hand.